Hi, my dear students. Today we learn that the topic is breathing and exchanging of gases. In this lesson, we learn that the word first respiration and breathing. So, respiration, the word is catabolic process. The word respiration is obtained from Latin language. The meaning is breathe. So, what is respiration? Oxidation of food, oxygen obtaining from surrounding media and releasing energy by using of metabolic water is called respiration. Now we are going to discuss the breath. What is breath? Inhale and exhaling of air is called breath or breathing. Generally, breathing is a external and physical process. In this process, no need enzymes and no releasing of energy. Means enzymes are not involved, energy is not released. Now respiration. Respiration is biochemical process. Biochemical process means the respiration is done by the oxidation of food by using of chemicals, and also respiration is internal process. The respiration process occurs in the cell. That means it is occurs in the cell or tissue, and it is called cellular respiration or tissue respiration. That means it is in cytoplasm and mitochondria. There are two types of respirations. One is aerobic respiration, another one is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration occurs in the cell by the absence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration, glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids, they are respiratory substrates. These are converts into ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide or lactic acid by the absence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration occurs in the bacteria like lactic acid bacteria, Clostridium, etc. And fermentation process is anaerobic respiration in yeast cells. Look at the picture. He is a mountaineer. Generally, some people are ascending or climb great mountains like Everest, Rocky, that like. As we go to high altitudes, the density of oxygen is decreased. Means at the height of about 6,000 meters, the pressure of oxygen becomes almost half of what it is at the level of sea. That causes the people are suffering who are climb mountains with great height, suffering mountain sickness. At that time, to overcome this problem, they are bring oxygen cylinders along with them. And also the people who are living on the top hills, they are generally to overcome this problem or means mountain sickness problem, naturally they developed large amount of hemoglobin in their body to overcome this low density of oxygen in the top mountains. Another problem is faced by the people related to the oxygen. The people who drive into deep sea, generally they are called scuba drivers. They are also bring the oxygen cylinders along with them. Why? Because we cannot utilize the dissolved state of oxygen. We are only utilize the oxygen as a gaseous stage. That's why they bring the oxygen cylinders when they are going to deep sea. But aquatic animals like fishes take the oxygen as a dissolved state, which are modify the respiratory organ according to habitat of water, that is called gills. Now aerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, food materials are completely oxidized by utilizing of oxygen. This process occurs in the cell, hence it is called cellular respiration. Generally, cellular respiration occurs in the mitochondria. Observe this equation. Glucose react with oxygen in presence of metabolic water and form carbon dioxide, water and 36 ATPs. In this, the carbon dioxide is removed from the body during the exhalation. If the carbon dioxide do not removed from the body, which is very harmful to the body, because this carbon dioxide is dissolved in the water and form the carbonic acid, which is lower the pH of blood and threatening the homeostasis. Means carbon dioxide is more affinity than the oxygen. That results oxygen percentage is decreased, which is very harmful to survival of organisms. Different animals have different types of respiratory organs and mechanism of breathing based on the type of habitats and level of organization and type of circulation. Means different kinds of animals living in the different habitats like water, land, and organizations also simple to complex, and type of respiration also open type of and closed type circulation. Based on the system, those different types of organs are developed. Protozoans like amoeba, parameciums, those are single-celled organisms. These organisms are respiration through the cell membrane. Means amoeba and paramecium like animals are aquatic organisms. Those organisms are exchanging of gases of oxygen and carbon dioxide as a diffusion method through the body membrane. Next, poriferans. Poriferans are first multicellular organism, but tissue is not developed. Poriferans like sponges, euplectellus, those organisms are perform the respiration through the body surface. Next, coelentrates and comb jelly like ctenophorus and platyhelminthes, those are also perform the respiration through the body surface. Annelids like earthworm, leech, and sandworms. These organisms are perform the respiration through the body wall. Next, arthropoda. In arthropods, like insects, respiratory organs are trachea. Trachea is a respiratory organ. In these organisms, circulatory system is open type of circular system. There is no respiratory pigment. That's why tracheal respiratory system is mode is developed in the insects. In lemurus, book gills are respiratory organ because it living in the aquatic life, and book lungs are respiratory organ spider and scorpion. Next, molluscans. Molluscans are respiratory organs are gills because of it is also mode of life is in aquatic life. In echinodermates like starfish, sea urchins, their respiratory organs are tube feeds. Okay. Understand, the respiratory organs are mainly depending on the habitat and type of organization and circulation system. In higher animals, respiration like Pisces, respiration through gills. Amphibians like salamanders and frogs, respiration through skin, pharynx and lungs. Reptiles, aves and mammals, respiration through lungs. In Pisces, respiratory organs are gills. These gills are lamellus like. These organs are wonderful mechanism in aquatic mode of life. The respiration through the gills is called branchial respiration. The branchial respiration is not only seen in the higher organisms like fishes, but also present in the aquatic invertebrates like molluscans and crustaceans. In invertebrates like molluscans and crustaceans, gills are respiratory organs. Gills are not only in respiratory function but also in excretory function to maintaining ionic balance. Amphibians have multiple respiratory organs like skin, lungs, and buccal pharyngeal respiration. In buccal pharyngeal respiration, the lining of mouth and throat of all amphibians have numerous blood vessels. Gases can diffuse into and out of those blood vessels effectively. Now, respiratory organs in reptiles. Lizards, snakes, crocodiles like reptiles respiratory organ through the lungs. Observe the picture. Accessory air sacs are present which are helpful for effective respiration in lizard lungs. Next. Birds have developed a technique of continuous exchanging of gases even during expiration. With the help of innocuous feature, the presence of air sacs and parabronchi. That is the wonderful mechanism developed in birds for continuous respiration, even expiration. That is specialty in birds. Now, respiratory organs in mammals. Mammals' respiratory organs are lungs. Respiration through lungs is called pulmonary respiration. This is the during the evaluation process a highly developed respiration system in higher animals like mammals. Now we are going to discuss that human respiratory system. Human respiratory system consists of nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and lungs. Nose has two parts: external nostrils, nasal chamber. Nasal chamber has three parts: vestibular part, respiratory part, and olfactory part. Look at the picture. Here a white color bone that is called palate. It separates the oral cavity and nasal cavity. Nasal cavity or nasal chamber has three parts, that is vestibular part, olfactory part, and respiratory part. Nasal vestibular part, which has cover with hair and sebaceous gland, which is helpful to prevent the entering of dust particle during inhalation. Olfactory part is located at the superior portion of nasal chamber. The olfactory part is covered with olfactory epithelium. It is helpful to center of sense of smell. Important part of nasal cavity or nasal chamber is respiratory part. Respiratory part involving in the conditioning of temperature of inhaling air. The respiratory part of nasal chamber is called nasal conchae or turbinals. There are three twisted bones, that is superior, middle, and inferior turbinals are nasal concave. What is their use? That is, there are increase the surface area of nasal chamber and also prevent dehydration by trapping of water droplets during exhalation. That is the importance of the nasal concave. Pharynx. It is the junction of both air and food passes. It is muscular cavity. Pharynx has three portions. One is nasopharynx. Nasopharynx is a superior part of pharynx. It is function in respiratory function. Oropharynx. It is a junction of both oral cavity and pharynx. It is middle part or intermediate portion of the pharynx. It is the function of both digestion and respiration. It has two pairs of tonsils that has palatal tonsils and lingual tonsils. Next, third part is laryngopharynx. The junction of larynx and pharynx is called laryngopharynx. It is the inferior part of pharynx. It is also called hypopharynx. It is function in respiration and digestion. Tonsils are lymphatic tissue. They are helps in fight against the germs during infections. Tonsils are three types in the parents. One is palatal, pharyngeal, and lingual tonsils. The next part of respiratory tract is larynx. Larynx is a cartilaginous box which helps in sound production. Hence, it is called voice box. Larynx is a short passageway that lies in the middle line of neck anterior to the esophagus. During swallowing, the pharynx and larynx rise, means elevated. Elevation of pharynx widen to receive food or liquids. Elevation of larynx causes the epiglottis that moves down and form a lid cover the glottis. Do you understand? The epiglottis is act as a lid to over the glottis, which is prevent entering of food. The wall of the larynx is composing of 9 pieces of cartilages. 3 occurs unpaired or singly, and 3 occurs in pairs. Unpaired or singly cartilages are thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, and epiglottis. 3 pairs of cartilages are arytenoid cartilage, corniculate cartilage, cuneiform cartilage. Look at the picture. These are unpaired cartilages in larynx, epiglottis, thyroid cartilage, and cricoid cartilage. We are going to discuss that epiglottis. The stem of the epiglottis is the tapering inferior portion that attached to the anterior rim of the thyroid cartilage and hyoid bone. The picture, epiglottis is attached to the hyoid bone and thyroid cartilages. Here hyoid bone is one of the important bone which is U-shape. It is between the mandibles and the larynx. So what is the importance of the hyoid bone? Hyoid bone is important role to keep open the larynx. We already discussed that epiglottis is a leaf-like structure which is made up of elastic cartilages, which is freely hanged attached to the thyroid cartilage with hyoid bone to over the glottis. Observe carefully. It is freely hanged over the glottis. So what is the function? It is prevent entering of food particles and liquids into larynx through the glottis. Are you understand? That is the important role of the epiglottis. Look at the picture. This is the real picture of epiglottis. See that very clearly. Observe that it is covers over the glottis. If you observe the top part, that is also freely hanged into the pharynx. That is called posterior soft palate hanged into the pharynx. That is called uvula. You already learned in the digestive system lesson. Next, thyroid cartilage. It is largest cartilage of the larynx. It is support the larynx from front and sides. The picture, the thyroid cartilage is located near to the thyroid gland of the larynx. Already discussed, the thyroid cartilage is supported to the larynx from front and sides. If you observe carefully in this picture, the thyroid cartilage forms a projection in the front portion of the larynx. It is look like a triangular pointed elevation or projection. This is called laryngeal prominence. It is also called Adam's apple. It is made up of hyaline cartilage. What is? The thyroid cartilage is made up of hyaline cartilage. Look at the picture. This is the Adam's apple. If you observe the man front portion of neck, a triangular elevation, that is called Adam's apple. Already I explained that Adam's apple is formed by the thyroid cartilage in the front portion of the larynx. Generally, this Adam's apple are laryngeal prominence that is developed during puberty in males compared with females. What are the functions of the Adam's apple? It is support the front portion of the larynx and also protection and support the vocal cords. So what are the other functions of the Adam's apple? The Adam's apple is grow during adults males. It is helpful in deepening the voice. Generally, the Adam's apple is growing based on the hormonal influence. That's why it is considered as a secondary sexual characters in males. Now, cricoid cartilage. Cricoid cartilage is a ring of hyaline cartilage. Cricoid means a ring-like structure that forms the inferior wall of larynx. Where is inferior wall of larynx? The cricoid cartilage is landmark for the making an emergency airway that is called tracheotomy or tracheostomy. That is one kind of surgical procedure during emergency condition. The incision is formed that the direction which is opening the airway to the trachea. That is one of the surgical process is called tracheotomy or tracheostomy. Now we discuss paired cartilages in larynx. That is arytenoid cartilage. It is made up of hyaline cartilage located at the posterior and superior border of the cricoid cartilage. It is most important. They influence changing the position and tension of vocal folds for speech. Now going to discuss cuneiform cartilage. Cuneiform cartilage is club-shaped elastic cartilage. It is located at anterior to the corniculate cartilage. What is the function of this cuneiform cartilage? It is supported to the vocal fold as like arytenoid cartilage and laterally aspect of the glottis. And final cartilage, corniculate cartilage. It is also paired cartilage. It is horned shape piece of elastic cartilage located at the apex of each arytenoid cartilage. Where is apex of arytenoid cartilage? It is located. That is. Larynx consists of two types of vocal cords. What are two types of vocal cords? The mucous membrane of larynx form two pairs of folds, that is, one is ventricular fold or false vocal cords, another one is inferior pairs called vocal folds, also called true vocal cords. The space between the ventricular folds are called rima vestibuli, are also called rima glottidies. Look at this picture. This is the real vocal cords. The vocal cords are, see that how they are elevated during exhaling air at the time of speaking. In males, the vocal cords are thickener, larger, and producing a low pitch voice, whereas in women and children, the vocal cords are usually short and thin to produce high pitch voice. Now, the next part of respiratory tract is trachea. Trachea, also called windpipe. It is tubular pathway for air. Generally, the length of trachea in human beings are 12 centimeters long and 2.5 centimeters diameter. It is located anterior to the esophagus and extend from larynx to fifth thoracic vertebrae. Look at the picture. This is the trachea. See, the trachea is located anterior to the esophagus. See that this is the esophagus, and the trachea is extend from larynx. See that it is larynx, from larynx to fifth thoracic vertebrae. Here the trachea is end in the place of fifth thoracic vertebrae. Okay. Look at the real picture of trachea. If you observe carefully the picture of trachea, we see that a cartilaginous rings are, we clearly observe that. Carefully observe rings. There are many rings are present in the trachea. There are 16 to 20 incompleted horizontal rings which are made up of hyaline cartilage, which are resembles like letter C. They are like letter C, which are dorsally incompleted, ventrally completed rings. Hence, they are C-shaped cartilaginous rings. So why the incompletely means C-shaped cartilage rings? So how they are help to the trachea, which are prevent collapsing the trachea when we are bending the neck. Are you understand? The C-shaped cartilage rings are keep the trachea always open, prevent collapsing internally to the trachea. Okay. Look at the inner wall of the trachea. The inner wall of the trachea is lined with pseudo-stratified ciliated epithelium. What is pseudo-stratified ciliated epithelium? The layers of trachea wall from deep to superficial consist of mucosa, submucosa, hyaline cartilage, and adventitia. Look at the picture. Trachea divides at level of fifth thoracic cavity. Trachea divide into right primary bronchus, which goes into the right lung, and a left primary bronchus, which goes into left lung. At the point where the trachea divide into right and left primary bronchi that has internal ridge. It is called a carina. Carina, also called keel of boat. What is carina? So what is carina? The place where trachea divides into right and left primary bronchi. That place internal ridge, that is called a carina, which is formed by a posterior and inferior projection of last tracheal cartilage. Are you understand? That is called carina. The mucous membrane of the carina is one of the most sensitive area of entire larynx and trachea for triggering a cough reflex. Each primary bronchus enters the corresponding lungs and divides into secondary bronchi that further divide into tertiary bronchi. Each tertiary bronchus again divide and redivide to form primary, secondary and tertiary and terminal and respiratory bronchioles. Each respiratory bronchioles terminates in a clusters of alveolar ducts which are end with alveolar sacs. So see that the sequence of the bronchi and bronchioles. Primary trachea divide into primary bronchi. The primary bronchi will be divided into secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi divide into tertiary bronchi. Tertiary bronchi is divided into bronchioles. Each bronchioles or each respiratory bronchioles terminates means ends with a clusters of alveolar ducts. Okay, each respiratory bronchioles terminates in a clusters of alveolar ducts which ends in alveolar sacs. This extensive branching from the trachea through the terminal bronchioles resembles an inverted tree or upside down tree-like structure. This is called bronchial tree. Thank you for watching this video. Part 1 respiration. We discuss part 2 in next video.